the City of Beavercreek, May, Department of Parks. Thank you. We'll try that again. Good evening. Welcome to the City of Beavercreek's Parks, Recreation, and Culture monthly board meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Jackie, can you do the roll call, please?
Sure. Mrs. Fulcher.
Here.
Mrs. Heaton.
Here.
Mrs. Meyer.
Here.
Mrs. Bidigari.
Present.
And Mr. Corbett is not with us this evening.
Thank you, Jackie. Next, we'd like to approve the agenda for this evening's meeting. Can I have someone?
Well, I think there's one change, right? Silver Sneakers is under the staff report.
That's actually for the minute. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. For the agenda, yes. We have one change. The Silver Sneakers report should be under staff and not division. Thank you, Candy.
My motion to accept.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes for February. I'm sorry, for March, please. April.
One of the months. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Let's move on to the staff report, please.
Good evening. So before Tyler comes up and talks about Silver Sneakers, I just wanted to give everybody an update on the Wortinger Park barn. Excuse me. If you haven't driven by Wortinger Park in a day, a week, you should. The barn has made tremendous changes. So once we figure out how to, it's going to be one of those evenings, so bear with us. So this is the old barn. But when we get to the end, I mean, so the whole point, so again, back in 2019, when we had the tornado over Memorial Day, it destroyed the barn. So actually, I have some pictures of that as well. So this is what it looked like after Memorial Day. Tornado came through. We lost a lot of trees. We lost our historic barn. Luckily, the 4 remaining cabins are still standing. We have a little bit of roof damage, but they were at least still standing, still usable. Excuse me. So our risk management group worked with insurance, and so we were able to rebuild the barn using insurance. So before we did that, oh, and here's some more. Just you can see like where the tornado came through and tore out trees. And I didn't have a picture of it, but there was, to the left of the barn, a tree that it was huge, and it just was uprooted and on the ground. It was crazy. So when we decided, it's like, hey, we now just have a concrete slab sitting out there. The lean-to was still intact, and there was still like one wall of the old barn standing. So we had a few different ideas of what we can do with the barn, or actually with that space. And what we do like to do is go back out to the community and say, hey, listen, here's some different ideas. What would you like to see? We always like to see, as we do improvements to our parks, what the community wants. So some of the questions we asked was, what type of structure does your family have a need for the entire park system? So not necessarily just the one park, but overall our entire parks, our park system. 775 responses. You can see there the top 2 was a historic barn or an open air shelter, with a barn kind of really taking the lead. In what capacity have you or your family used Wortinger Park? We had 725 responses. So again, we just want to get an idea of so those people who are answering the questions, what they use the park for. For a picnic, walk around the park. That was, a little over half. Sit on the porch. We do have a nice porch swing. We've got some benches on some of the cabin porches. And when I've been out there, I've just seen people just sitting and enjoying. And again, if you've not been out there, it is so peaceful. You just sit and you're just take all in nature. Attend an event, and that could have been one of our winter events. It could also be Living History. or they've rented the previous barn. We do have had some rental families coming in. One of the other questions, what type of structure does your family have a need for at Warringer Park? So specifically that one park, we had 771, and you can see they really didn't have to do much math on this one. Historic barn clearly won out, which was very helpful. So it was like, all right, here's our direction. And so then we went back to insurance to say, here's exactly what we want to do. And as long as we put up a historic barn in exactly what we have, no new amenities, anything like that, insurance covers that, which was fantastic. So we contracted with MSP, McGill Smith Puncheon. They are the architect and design group that helped us kind of put this back together, did up all the drawings, and of course we worked with the Historical Society, which helps us out at that park tremendously. They run the Living History program. They sat in on some of those meetings as well, so they can kind of share, here's what we use the barn for, maybe here's what we would like to see, and if we were able to add some additions kind of off of the contracts, like bathrooms, a little kitchenette, those type of things, so at least can kind of get some pricing for future, but not for right now. So in April, they started putting the barn up. In last fall, we had contracted with MSP, and then Jagger Construction is the group actually putting the barn together. They tore out the old foundation and poured a new concrete slab, so that's all fresh and new. And so in early April, all the lumber arrived to the park. So they started putting the framing up, and it's been unreal how fast it's been going up. So again, this was the 13th. The following week, they had the trellis up at the top, and it's really cool to watch them. It's not hammers and nails, it's pegs. So a lot of staff members were able to sign a peg, and that's what was used to put it. It's like Lincoln logs. And just watching them put the roof trellises on, they're sticking it in the grooves. It's like a crane and one guy up there, just, that's neat. 25th, kind of the following week, they had the bottom of the roof, for lack of a better word, on. Here's just a little bit more pictures of that same week. A few days later, they're getting more of the framing in. After that, then they started putting the siding up. Now, this is just one coat of paint or stain. They're going to put one more coat on the outside, because then it'll look exactly like the original barn. So again, just still framing it out, getting everything on there. And then this was yesterday. So you see, like, all the walls are up. They've got to put some windows in, and then they've got to put the doors on. There is a wall that separates the inside of the barn to the lean-to. That'll, again, be a sliding door with a lock. Excuse me. I think that might be that was the last one. So over the next week, they'll finish up with the doors, get all the windows on. It'll all be buttoned up, if you will. So after that, it may look like there's not a whole lot of activity, but now they're going to start working on the electric. They've got to get their electric permits. The old barn did have electric outlets, so we were able to put them in again, because then again we'll be able to use it as a rental space. So hopefully by the end of June, it'll be up, and we'll be looking at a ribbon cutting sometime this summer. So cross the fingers that we continue to get nice weather and we can kind of keep on working. And kudos to Jacob Construction and their team. They've done a phenomenal job. While the last couple weeks they've been working, we've had Living History out there, and so the kids have been able to watch the process. They get to sign some of the pegs. They get to sign the inside of the wall. So when the siding gets up, their names are basically encapsulated inside the wall, so it's something that they can share with their kids later on. So it's been really cool, and of course I want to thank the Historic Society for helping us out with all the input. So you'll hear more information on the barn as we finish it up and put a ribbon cutting together, but I just wanted to share some updates because it's going up fast. So, but happy to answer any questions.
Were they able to use any of the wood from the original barn?
No, to build it, no. So I think some of the timbers would be structurally sound, so they just kind of started brand new. But then what they're going to do is we'll take some of the old wood and bring it inside, and so like when you come in, you can see like the old barn siding, and so we're just going to incorporate the old in with the new.
Question?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you complete the community survey?
I'm sorry, the screen just went blank.
Oh, community survey?
So we sent that out through SurveyMonkey. It was on our website. We did a Facebook post, sent it out to the Historical Society, so then they could also send it out to all their group, and we made, I think we had a sign at the park as well, so that way the neighbors could log in and do the survey as well.
Any ideas for the use of the space besides, I'm assuming, rentals for family groups?
There'll be, Historical Society will use it for some programming, but then, yeah, it'll just be a rental facility. I know we've already got somebody interested in October. She got married in the original barn, and then every year they do their wedding anniversary party there. So that's, we'll foresee it more like, family picnics, some wedding receptions. It is not heat or air conditioned, so we do have to take that into consideration. But yeah, we'll open it up for all that meeting space.
The reason why I brought that up is because I went somewhere, I think north of town, and they had a similar barn like that, and they used it for like square dancing events for the community.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you know who?
No, it's
Okay.
been a long time, but
okay.
it really worked out well because it was lit as well, but it was not heated, so it was like
Yeah.
a summer, late spring opportunity that this community took advantage of the barn.
Oh, that is very cool. Yeah, no, we'll have to keep that in mind. That might be something fun, just like, yeah, late summer, early fall, when it doesn't matter if it's heated or air conditioned, and we can just, I'm sure that we can find somebody. If there's anybody out there that knows square dancing callers, I was giving Candy a hard time earlier. I'm like, you can call square dancing. She needs practice, but absolutely, yeah, no, I think anything like that and any programs that we can put together out there will be great. You're welcome. Awesome. All right, Tyler's working on our technical difficulties. I don't know what happened.
Right. Good evening, Park Board members. It's been some time since I've been in front of you all, so I'll just introduce myself again. My name is Tyler Barloggy. I'm the supervisor over at the Beavercreek Senior Center. So tonight I'm going to be giving you a staff report just over our Silver Sneakers program and the partnership that the city has with Tivity Health and how that's been going at the Senior Center. So Silver Sneakers is a fitness and wellness program offered at no additional cost to seniors age 65 plus on eligible Medicare plans. You usually see this with Medicare Plan C and then some Medigap plans as well. Silver Sneakers grants normal senior center membership benefits, the same as our traditional membership, but it just waives that membership fee. Things like class fees, special events, trips, those would still apply to Silver Sneakers members. We began offering this at the Senior Center in December 2020, so it's been almost a year and a half now. How it works, a lot of people don't know if they're eligible. They know if they have Medicare, but they don't necessarily know if the Silver Sneakers is included with that. So it's actually very easy for our staff or volunteers to check their eligibility on this Tivity Health portal that you can see pictured there. So the only thing we need is their first and last name, date of birth, and then a zip code. You click submit and it tells us right there whether it was able to verify or not. If they are eligible, it'll give us their 16-digit Silver Sneakers number, and then we are able to enroll them in the program and set them up with a free membership and scan-in card. Like I said, the exact same as our traditional membership. Each month I submit a report to Tivity Health with all of our Silver Sneakers member scan-ins, and this is how we get reimbursed for those visits. So Tivity Health reimburses the city $2.50 for each member visit, up to a maximum of $20 per member per month. So if they're an active member, it really is a win-win situation. If you compare the $35 traditional membership to potentially $20 a month for a member. Yes?
Does this Tivity Health cover all Medicare Advantage programs and Medicaid participants?
I cannot answer that. I know there's a number of insurances we deal with that don't have the Silver Sneakers available. Like I said, I think it's just the Plan C, so I think that might also be called Medicare Advantage. I don't think Medicaid has Silver Sneakers. There's other programs out there like Silver and Fit, Renew Active. There's new ones popping up all the time, but right now we just have Silver Sneakers. Oh, sorry, let me go back to that chart there. You can kind of just see that's the membership totals since the beginning of last year. You can see down in February 2021 we had 103 Silver Sneakers members, and we're currently, as of the end of April, sitting at 540. For some perspective, we have, last I checked, about 1,380 total members of the Senior Center, so we're starting to near 50% of our members being Silver Sneakers. This slide here will just show you the revenue, starting with the inception of the program in December 2020 all the way up until March, because I do not have April's yet, but see, March was our best month yet, and again, it continues to grow. So I'm just going to go over some of the program benefits of Silver Sneakers and some stuff we've noticed. It's definitely helped increase our membership following the low point brought from COVID. We dipped below 1,000 members for the Senior Center, and I feel that Silver Sneakers played a big role in getting that membership total back up. The additional revenue I discussed a little bit earlier. There's also a bit of marketing promotion on their website. If someone knows they have that benefit, they can look at locations in their area that accept Silver Sneakers, and people aren't limited to just using one location. They can get these free memberships all around the area. We also have the option to pursue classes with Tivity Health in the future if we decide to. They provide all class equipment for up to 15 participants, no cost to us. They do have certified instructors, but they would also pay for training of an instructor if we identified someone. You can see on the right there just some of the signature classes that would be available to us. So that's it, unless anybody has any questions.
You never let it go. Does your revenue go into your operating costs, overall operating costs?
It just goes into our general revenue. Right now, the 279. Maybe Kim could answer that better than I do, but same as our traditional membership does.
Yeah, all revenue for whether it's Senior Center, Parks, whatever, it just goes into the 279, like Tyler said, the Parks, Recreation, and Culture Fund. So we have individual budgets, expense budgets for each. We also have revenue lines for all our different programs, but it all goes into the 279. So, and I'm glad you're asking these questions. We're in May. As we approach budget season, that's one of the things that we want to discuss with Park Board as well, is like, we keep talking about different budget numbers and the revenue, and here's different things that we're doing to help you guys understand. Here's our budget, here's our expenses, our revenue, and here's how we kind of determine some projects and such. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to the division report.
Oh, arrow. Good evening again. Sorry, very prepared. Tonight we've been having a whole lot of technical difficulties, so hard to touch anything. Generally, Zach would do this presentation, but he was not able to be here tonight, so you get to hear me again. So I want to start out by saying May is Bring Your Kids to Parks Day. We had a very special guest last night. Penelope Heaton joined us and accepted the proclamation for the mayor. She was a very bubbly little girl, and we didn't allow her to take the microphone because I think she was going to talk a little too much. But Christina, thank you for coming out, bringing Penelope to accept that proclamation. And what that proclamation is basically saying for the month of May, it's just like encourage your kids to get out. We certainly want you to visit one of our City of Beavercreek parks, but there are a lot of great parks in Greene County. So the weather is finally changing for us. So get outside, get your kids out there, run around, act like you're 5 again. So, but thank you, and thank you to Penelope for being there. We'll start out with the Senior Center and what they have coming up. Next week is Fiesta de Mayo. So it's Wednesday, May 18th from noon to 1:30. I want to thank Traditions of Beavercreek for being a sponsor. As you can imagine, it is Mexican themed. So there's going to be all the Mexican fanfare, and you are asked to wear a sombrero. There may be a prize for the best sombrero. I don't know. I think Tyler's going to win. In June, we have game day out at Lafino Park, so we're going to take our show on the road. And again, thank you to Day Spring of the Miami Valley. It's going to be a cookout, and then we're also going to play some games out there, so from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I do encourage you, if you are interested, to sign up. I do encourage you, if you are not a member of the Senior Center, to sign up and be a member. A lot of our events or programs are members only, or you do get first priority to sign up. It's $35 a year for a resident and $55 for a non-resident. So quite frankly, you can't beat that, even if you just want to go to some programs or go to the fitness room. $35 for the year. Or like Tyler was just talking about, Silver Sneakers, you sign up for that, and then it's free for you. Silver Sneakers pays for it. But we've got a lot of really cool events coming up, so, and everything is always on our website. And they have our Senior Center newsletter is also out there. On the recreation side, we have our annual Memorial Day ceremony on Monday, May 30th at 2 p.m. Again, this is a free program. We work with the VFW, the American Legion. We have a guest speaker. That guest speaker is to be determined. We're not going to share that name yet. It's a very nice program. We have a pastor come out. Pastor Joe will be doing an invocation. The ceremony maybe goes about 45 minutes, but it's our opportunity to honor those that fought for our country and lost their lives. Some of the things that we have coming up this summer, we have a lot of programs and a lot of classes. Amazing Athletes is a new group that we're working with. Again, if that's something that you're interested, I would call now. Our spring sessions sold out. Amazing Athletes it's a kind of a unique twist on, I don't even want to call it a sports camp. They're not teaching actual sports, but they're teaching the dynamics and the biomechanics of sports, like nothing like big words, but just like really how your body moves to throw a ball, to catch. It's really cool. We've had a lot of great success. A lot of people are really enjoying the program. So we have another session coming up this summer. So again, it's just something, I think it's a unique program for our community. Again, we're going to be working with Skyhawk Sports Camps this summer. We have our T-ball league starting up in June. Multi-sport, that is kind of a half-day camp for the 5 to 6-year-olds. and they do 3 different sports during that week: flag football, beginning golf, tennis. Tennis is sold out. We're taking a waiting list, so if we keep getting sign-ups, we will open up another session. So if you want to do tennis and you see that it's full, put yourself on the waiting list so we know that more people are interested. And then Mini Hawk is kind of the multi-sport for the little kids, so 3 to 4-year-olds. And again, they do a couple sports during the week. So all the information is on our website. And then one of the things I wanted to highlight for the adult side is adult dusty rackets. So again, tennis, if you've played tennis in the past, it's been a while, or you're like, I've never played before, but I think I might be interested, Dusty Rackets is for you. It's beginner tennis. They'll teach you how to play, give you some pointers, and then you can just enjoy. Tennis is one of those lifelong sports. Very easy on the on the joints. So for those of us that might be getting up there in a little bit, can't get on the field, tennis is a great sport to jump to. So that is starting up next week on the 17th from 7 to 8 at Beavercreek Clay Courts. Some of the highlights for the park side, our restrooms and water fountains are now open. We have started all our mowing operations. It's in full swing. And I will tell you, we are struggling hiring seasonal staff. Right now, the rain last week did not help us. It helped the grass grow, so the grass looks so nice and green. We don't have a lot of staff to cut. So we are getting out there as best we can. You know, it's interesting. A couple of the parks was mowed on Thursday. I was out on Monday. I'm like, when were we out there before? And Thursday. It's growing very fast. So if it doesn't look like your neighborhood park has been cut yet, a little patience. We are getting there. We're getting around as best we can. If you know anybody that is 18 years or older that is interested in a job, 40 hours a week, no weekends, no evenings, free uniform, and quite frankly, it's a fun team to work with. So, and then last week, as a team building exercise for all of our staff, we installed new landscaping at the senior center. So that is the wall where the theater is. We ripped out, our park staff ripped out all the bushes, the trees, and then we came in on Wednesday and planted all the little flowers. Our park staff will go back in another week, put more sod down, and then mulch. So that was a lot of fun, and that's a picture of us after the fact. We're also, we are in kind of the cycle to teach CPR, AED, and first aid. So we do ask that all of our staff are trained, administration, maintenance, our counselors, our senior center volunteers, myself, Zach, and Tyler are certified trainers. And then we actually bought some of the mannequins this past winter. So we're able to do everything in-house, and then we're just charged for the cards. And then this way we can, as people, you know, their cards expire or we get new staff, we can do classes a lot more frequently than we've been able to do in the past. So Zach has been taking care of all the maintenance over these past few weeks. Some of the things that we have coming up, I think we've talked about the pickleball tennis court resurfacing at Dominic Lafino Park. These are the tennis courts that are furthest from the bathrooms. So we have a group coming in. They're going to reseal. They're going to fix the bird baths throughout the courts. Yeah. And then repaint, and then we'll have 2 tennis courts, but then perpendicular to the tennis courts will be 6 pickleball courts. So it will still be a multi-use facility, but then we have also purchased temporary pickleball nets. So we'll actually have, on the other side, we have pickleball nets, and you have to move the tennis net down. These will be set so you can set up pickleball nets. We've also purchased some paddles, so we're hoping to get a group out there. And if you want to learn how to play, we'll have some of the equipment for you. So we have a great group that raised all the money to resurface, repaint, plus buy the nets and the paddles. So very fortunate to be able to do that. We're really excited. Again, that seems to be one of those up-and-coming sports. Easy on the joints. Great group of people that play it as well. And so I will come out and watch. We're also going to be resurfacing the basketball court at CI Beaver Park. And then pretty soon here we'll be pouring a sidewalk to Merrick Park. And I apologize, I'm not sure of the street, but the side of the bridge away from the playground, it was kind of a janky turn. And so we're going to be straightening it out a little bit to make it a little bit more ADA accessible, as well as stroller friendly and bike friendly. So instead of hitting a 90-degree turn, you'll be able to go straight. So that'll be happening here soon as well. As I mentioned earlier, we are hiring. It's a great city to work for, great people to work for, if I do say so myself. But we need a couple more camp counselors and a whole lot of park maintenance. So we can be flexible on the park maintenance schedule, camp counselors, not so much. So, but everything is an 8-hour day, 40-hour week. You can make some good money, be outside, on the campsite, play. And quite frankly, we play on the park maintenance side too. We work hard and we play hard. And I'm happy to answer any questions on that presentation.
I have a question. Have you put help wanted signs for mowing the grass and stuff at all the parks?
We
So
have
that-
them at maybe not all the parks, but on the bigger part, on a lot of our parks, probably half of them have
Okay.
yard signs out there with a QR code that takes you right to HR.
Yeah. I was going to say, because then if people are complaining about the mowing not getting done, at least you've got a sign there that says, we need help.
That maybe that's why I need to
Mowing.
stick it right into the middle of the field. Yes.
Big size, you know?
Yeah, maybe. It's probably true. We need it bigger.
And I have a real quick question for you, Ty. On the game day, do they drive themselves over to Lafino Park, or are they taking the buses? Or both?
Okay. So we'll have limited transportation available to the parking lot. Most people should drive themselves. But once they park in the lot, we'll have some sort of shuttle service set up to get them actually to the shelter from the parking lot. Mhm.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. We're going to move on to old business. I'd like to thank everybody who came out for the volunteer ice cream sundae event last month. That was a lot of fun and a great way to honor all of you. Any other old business? Okay. New business, volunteer opportunities.
Yes, I'll make a plug for Erin. She will be back next month. So we will be starting our Family Recess series. The first one is the middle of June. And again, we're at neighborhood parks. Our parks intern and our sports management intern will be out there providing games and just kind of like activities so everybody can come together and play. But then we always look for park board members to be out there to kind of help, hey, here's what's going on. I can't tell you what parks there are. I know one is Wartinger. I think the first one might be at Gershbacher. But just kind of talk about whether it's a project that we already did or something that we have coming up next year. But I can get you guys the dates so you have an idea. So that's the biggie that, at least on the recreation side, for the community itself, if anybody is interested in, like, if you have a service group or a business and interested in helping to mulch or clean up landscape beds, we had Home Depot of Beavercreek at Lafino Park today, cleaning up the landscape bed and putting some mulch down. So we're always looking for extra help.
Yep, I'd like to add that the senior center is, of course, always looking for volunteer drivers and escorts for our transportation service. I also always like to mention you don't have to be a senior adult to volunteer at the senior center.
Thank you. No unscheduled visitors this evening, so we're going to move on to action items. Any action items this month? All right, let's move on to board time then. Candy, would you like to start us?
I agree.
not a whole lot of stuff either other than what you guys have said about needing lots of volunteers, or as well as, people to employ as far as your counselors and yard work people, that kind of thing.
I was at Family Fun Days at the high school, and the Beavercreek Park's tent almost flew away. It was crazy windy. But we did get a lot of people stop by and ask about the various hiking trails. And we pushed the Sunday evening concert series, as well as just general programming. And got a lot of people who are already connected with the parks and receiving messages. I guess they're on your email list. And a lot of people said they were very pleased with the summer camps, but were a bit disappointed they were filling up. And then I kind of explained that's hard to get the counselors. So, but they said that they really appreciated those summer camps for their kids. And they liked the game, but again, the game almost blew away also. It was just crazy windy.
I heard it was very windy. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to have Penelope come out and accept the proclamation. That was a lot of fun, even though she's very shy. But she was very excited to tell her Girl Scout troop afterwards about it. And it was very cute, and it's never too early to foster that civic responsibility. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Okay, if there's nothing else, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Wonderful. Then we are adjourned. Thank you.